Kohaloyim Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakadash Barakatam. The wants the GMS. Shalom to Fulek. Shema Shawan. Little brother coming at you. Another video. Forgive me if my voice sounds a little low. I haven't slept too well. Quality of life is absolute dog shit down here in Brooklyn. So let's see here. Should you go to college in 2021? Alright, so we're going to go through this article because this is all a part of end times. And we're going to look at a couple of the points. Alright, so first and foremost, in this article they're talking about, do you have to go to college to be successful? The fact of the matter is, and they don't explain this in the article, is that there's rising inflation. Okay, that means the money's devaluing. There's overwhelming demand for houses, and these guys are just hiking up prices. So even though they may have to pay more for bills or taxes and the like, they're hiking up the prices, right, to see how much profit they can get out the people. Okay, and they don't care if they put people out to do so. They just want their money. Same thing with businesses. Okay, lots of look at the gas. Gas was like $1.89 a couple years ago, and now it's like 3 something in most places. It's even rising in Jersey. I believe it is even rising in Jersey. Which they're known for having cheap gas. Okay, so you gotta understand that we're in these end time days. All right, so even if you don't go to college, and you're a Gen Zer and you're kind of conflicted, what do you do? You go to college, you don't go to college, right? Now you say, oh, there's a bunch of job openings, right? All right, I'm just gonna go off topic a little bit here, right? And I just looked up Brooklyn, okay? Jobs, Brooklyn, no diploma. This is just my area, okay? All these jobs are petty, and they're dog shit. I mean, I just gotta keep it a buck. Most of them are not even for private companies. Most of these are big businesses. Okay, businesses that are too big to fall. Okay, so there's no more. All right, well, I'm gonna get a job working for a small mom and pop, where I can get paid a decent wage. Now they got these jobs here, and it's probably so much. I mean, they got so much money, man. I mean, if they really want to raise prices, they can. But even if they raise the minimum wage prices, then everything else has to go up too. So as you see here, all of it's just very petty jobs with maybe the occasional good one. I mean, data engineer, that's very niche, but these jobs are all like bottom level stuff. Home health aide, shift manager, deliveries. There's no good jobs here. Like, this isn't enough to say, if you're living at home with your mother, this isn't enough to not only deal with having to pay rent if you have to pay rent under your parents, but this isn't even enough to save up to buy a house. A lot of these things are like maybe $60,000, $40,000 a year. You're never gonna have enough to afford a home, which are 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. You're never gonna have enough to even deal with the rent nowadays. The rent down here in Brooklyn and a lot of places are going up at 2,000, 3,000 a pop. Even in the hood, in certain parts of the certain projects, the rent is going up $1,000, $2,000. So we also know that the moratorium is an eviction moratorium. So, hey man, this is really, either way you're gonna lose, man. Okay. Well, this article goes off on some points to see here. College agrees to open doors for employment, a virtual guarantee of a job with a good salary as soon as you graduated. Not landing that job is much more about who you know and what skills you have acquired. It's also how well you interview. Well, that's always been the case. If you have all the skills in the world but you don't know anybody, I mean, you're still going to be homeless. There's a video of that somewhere on one of these GMS pages on one of their playlists. I believe it's Breaking Strongholds 1. They have an entire playlist about colleges. Um, let's see here. Yeah. But yeah, they pretty much talk about either way, which is true. Either way, whichever way you want to go, there's going to be some high education for the, jobs that you do want. Even if you do want to get a job with just having a high school diploma and get on the job training, there's millions of people doing that also, and there's lots of competitiveness. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai be with you. All right, but let's talk about the cost. So we're just gonna look at these data sheets. So look at it now in 2021. Private university is like $41,000 this year on average. Out of state is 26,000. In state is 11,000. Okay. 4 years institution 44,000. 100,000 for out of state and 160,000 for private. So, you do the math for yourself. If you're working a $60,000 job, a $40,000 job, is it really, worthwhile to go back? Unless you're, I'll use myself an example. I'm not in the worst predicament. I have parents that have saved up for me to go. And the way I see it, my quality of life is already poor. I may be lucky if I sleep an hour or two here and there, just with the noise and, dealing with loud parents at night and, just other things. It's probably would be best for me to go back because I already have 2 years into the damn piece of paper. So, that means I already did all the classes that are quote unquote tough, all the annoying classes I've already dealt and past the point where they try to indoctrinate you. Okay. All right, which I never fell for that nonsense anyway. How you think I got into the truth? But I'm past that point, so I'm just taking a bunch of BS, so I might as well, finish it. It's like if I'm just kind of rambling on. I'm gonna get some scriptures in a minute. So yeah, and they talked about it here. Type of institution. The schools that we're talking about are smaller tier 2 or tier 3 schools. They're the ones that don't have the powerful name or huge endowments to fall back on. They're still charging high tuition rates for a degree from a school that your potential employers may very well never heard of. Therefore, it carries much less weight. Okay. Yeah, this is what I really want to go to. Slovakia. How schools are faring with you know, the love. The crippin'. We'll just call it the crippin'. Yeah. With the okay, so with the crippin', right? Uh yeah, so in a recent article for the College Post on the survival of colleges, NYU professor Scott Galloway, who also hosts the popular Prof G podcast, estimates that 10 to 20% of colleges could close within a year. Dwindling revenue from students who can no longer afford the steep price of school, combined with the shrinking endowments and high operating costs, have placed these institutions on the endangered list. As a prospective student, it's not hard not to be considered your school might be on a chopping block. Do you want to spend your hard-earned money at a school that may close down before you finish your degree? Some institutions with big brand names, Ivy League label, huge endowments may weather the COVID storm, crippling storm, and survive. But will students come back? And if they do, will the new normal at schools be worth the high price tag of admission? It won't. That's why I say, for me personally, looking at the facts, I got someone in my family that is gonna pay. There's no money out my goddamn pocket, right? And plus my quality of life is gonna be better there anyway. You know, Lord's will. You know, and I was just meditating this earlier. Things go down while I'm there, while I'm still up there, and where I'm at. I'm not gonna tell you what school I go to, but where I'm at, Lord's will, it goes out, because I'm not gonna be in state. So um, if things go down, I'll be able to easily flee. You don't really want to be caught up in Brooklyn when things go down, because there's really absolutely no way you can run. It's impossible. You're really just gonna have to be on the streets, because when things go down, and I saw this when I was driving back from a forced travel that I really didn't want to go to, forced family travel. Um, there was a Holland Tunnel. We were coming back, and we wanted to take the Holland Tunnel, but it was too late, and they closed it down. I never knew them to do that. Holland Tunnel used to be open all night, I believe, but now they closed it down for some stupid reason. Probably wanted to save money. Pretty much they took us all the way around, and we had to go take the Lincoln Tunnel. And you know how that's annoying, because you have to go back on the highway and go up around and circle around, and now you have to go to, um, through Manhattan, and then get back in to, Brooklyn from Manhattan, which is a real pain. But yeah, how students are faring, so you got to look at it, from your perspective of what you're dealing with, even if you are paying it. I mean, even if you have to go pack on some debt, I mean, it's all in perspective, man. Because even if you do pack on debt, this society, this whole economical situation that we're in right now, it's over. Like this, the way society's functioning, it's over. There's gonna be a blackout. Right? You got China that runs the agriculture. You got China that owns massive farms. You got Gates that owns massive farms. You got droughts. Okay, you're gonna have famines and pestilences coming. Okay, you got inflation going out of control. Okay, so you gotta take it in perspective, man. There are two parts to the answer: how students are faring. The first is financial, whether or not they can afford to attend school anymore. And the second is how students are handling the frustration of the unknown, including whether class will be in person or online, what's happening with tuition, or even whether or not their chosen colleges can withstand this current financial crisis. Which most, I'm not gonna say most, but the big name ones are absolutely right. Those guys get like unlimited freaking loans, and the banks keep them off. They're too big to fall. Right, and they have rich friends, and a lot of their alumni are actors and actresses. So all those guys are illuminated one puppets anyway. So hey, man, they're gonna be around for a minute, you know. So yeah, they talk about 70%, 7% dropout rate, which is like 1,300,093 students dropped out as a result of not being able to afford school. You know, yeah. Uh, yeah, the new unknowns. Um, yeah, that whole Zoom thing was an absolute scam. I had to deal with that nonsense. Um, it's really terrible. Really, you shouldn't be paying thousands of dollars. Once again, it's no money on my pocket. And before you guys say, oh, what about inheritance? So listen, there is no inheritance. This is the end. Okay, I'm not gonna. There's no white picket fence. There's no little shitty dog and a wife and kids. There's none of that. Okay, right now all there is scripture. All right, and yeah, forgive me for taking long. Um, yeah, and they kind of talk about it, but that's pretty much the point. You know, they say, they talk about a little bit of financial aids and joining the military. Don't join the military, but yeah, rise costs, high unemployment rates. Yep, and and lack of guaranteed jobs. That's a fact, also, man. You know, because even while you're in there, right, prices are still gonna rise. Um, jobs, businesses are still gonna close. There's gonna be another um, closing time, national closing time. Okay, and please try to understand what I mean by that. National closing time. Okay, and that's just gonna make things worse. More small businesses are gonna sink. Okay, and listen, if you can't afford a house now, when you're done, you're still not gonna be able to afford a house. Even if you find a job, you still won't be able to afford a house. So look at it, and do what's best in for you, man. For me, I see, I have a very low quality of life right now. I might as well just go, um, be able to get water, food, and shelter. Of course, I'm gonna keep making the videos to the best of my ability. You know, and I know places where I can go, quiet places. Just walk down the. The worst case scenario, I just literally walk off campus and just get a bench to sit on and record my content. You know, because I'm not gonna risk doing it inside a goddamn dorm. But hey, man, it is what it is. Um, I'm gonna get some scripts. Kind of rambled on, but this is kind of I feel like it's an important topic, because this is a very unsure time we're in. So if you don't go to college, you're fucked. But if your parents can afford it, you might as well. In my opinion, you might as well fucking go ahead and do it. At least you'll have a decent life before the shutdown, right? But if you have to still stay home and go to work, just be aware that you're just gonna be working a dead end job, And once those big lovey love, you know, you know what I mean by that, the love, right? The hug and kisses mandates come, and those are heavily pushed. Okay, eventually you're gonna lose that job too. Really all it's going down to is that you're just gonna be homeless, man. Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, and that knowing the time that is now high time to wake out of sleep, for now is the salvation nearer than what we believed. Okay, I just want to get to that. I just want to get to the point. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Exactly. He that selleth, let it be he that as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupies merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it. He that buildeth, as he shall not he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if they shall not reap. Also he that planteth a vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. Okay, but that's the point, man. It's kind of plain, man. It's kind of easy to understand. I don't really think I need to go into that, man. You can build. I have dreams. Even I have dreams too, man. I always wanted to make comics, but the longer I see, I still draw here and there, but the longer these things go down, man, chances are I'm never gonna be able to draw, and even if I do, I'm not gonna be able to do it for long or make any decent money off of it. It just is what it is, man. So put all your stock into this. Put all your stock into this truth. The Lord's will, you hopefully of the hopeful elect, 144,000. So this is. Oh wait, no, this is not what I wanted. 6:22. And the 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 22. Slowly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Exactly, and that's already happening. Pertaining to Matthew chapter 24. These are the signs of the end, man. Shutting down a lot of international travel. A lot of these world, well, not really world, but nations out here are export only. Meaning that they don't really, they import, but they're more of an export. Like, Germany is a big exporter of foreign cars. Now, he shut down the international trade, or, they say, oh, the chips are gone because blah, 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 whatever stupid excuse they made. We know that they really want to use it to, implement the platinum chip from Fallout New Vegas. All right, which that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the Fallout New Vegas platinum chip. Okay? That's what they really want to do. Okay? taking to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, 17. Okay, but hey, man, it's kind of tough to realize this, man. But it's, I'm gonna get this last scripture, man, because this is bitter, man. This truth can really get bitter sometimes, man. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 9. And I went to the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. He said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. It was in my mouth sweet as honey, but as soon as I eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. All right, now this is Paul. No, John. Slakia. John and the Patmos. All right, and there's no record of him prophesying again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. So what does this mean? He came back. He had to come back and do this. Okay, but it's a fact, man. This truth, it sounds sweet at first when you first get into this thing. Oh, I'm an Israelite. Those guys are the bad guys. The other nations. And you start to see, that's why I really couldn't blend well with the other nations when you were at school. You didn't really want to hang around. Or even if you didn't really want to hang around your own people, Like I remember in school, I went to school a lot of 2/3. Even going to a decent school, Catholic school, I still went to school a lot of 2/3. A lot of gang members, a lot of retards. Okay, and just something in my spirit. They were decent enough after some time. They kind of were kind of cool, but I never really liked them like that. I didn't let them know that, but it's just something in my spirit. Like I just don't like them, man. But when you really get into nitty gritty, you learn that you can't follow your dreams. That if there's something you wanted to do, and you see, like me, you always want to draw, that you're just gonna have to sacrifice it. There's gonna be sacrifices gonna have to be made. Chances are you'll lose your job, you'll lose your car. Nothing's guaranteed. Everyone's gonna lose here. Even E is losing, because I know they got them new regulations and they're pushing censorship, but everyone's losing, man. So listen, man. It is what it is. All right, this is bitter. You just gotta take it. You gotta take it all. Just don't take it at all, man. As for me, I'm gonna take and eat it all up. All right, that's all I got. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakadash Barakadam Shalom.